Alrighty, here we go. 1 second. Oh, what the hell? That's not what I want. Okay, good. How's it going, everyone? Ooh, yeah, it's... My hat's on the wrong way. Let's fix that. Let's see now. My face can be seen. Excuse me. Alright, let's see here. We are multi-streaming for the first time. So, we are live on YouTube as well. Ooh, there we go. Cool, that's working out pretty well. I think. Hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Right. Good. Okay. Well, I think it's working on YouTube, but it's hard to say. All right. Well, let's get started here. So, we resuming from Friday. Happy Monday, by the way. We were working on activity data. We were working on showing, moving from the layout described by this XML here. Oh, gotta move that out of the way. Moving from showing the data using this XML layout to using drawing it manually through layers. So as you can see, we have a distance label, distance value, which we copied here, distance, and then the distance value. And we decided to do that to, gotta load in my fit file. We decided to do that because we needed to have layers so that we can show when we're actively calculating the turnaround time. So this is what we have right now. This yellow layer, this yellow ring around the outside is what I was thinking of showing when you are actively, oh, you know what? You could you hear this music? Anyways, the yellow ring is shown when we are actively calculating the turnaround. You cannot. There we go. I'm really debating whether or not to stick with Monstercat or not. Like, I enjoy having the music in the background, but I'm kind of realizing if I stop paying for Monstercat, then any video I have that features it, they will then strike it. So, like, you pay for the subscription service, right? And it really seems like while you're paying, they're not going to charge you. But if you you know, if you stop paying, they will come and strike your channel. At least that's, I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't think you're protected forever. I could be wrong about that, though. It's hard to say. So, what I want to happen next is everything is laid out really well, and I was proud of myself for figuring out how to lay things out where they were centered and looking pretty good. It looks even better than this this layout ever looked, because the text is more centered to the box, and the value, it just looks nice. It looks nice to me. So we're good there. But now I want the yellow ring to be on top of do I want it to be on top of at least these lines, but do I want it on top of this text here? Probably not. So there's a couple ways we can change that. Is either we change the orders of the layers so that the ring is on top. So let's see here. Where do we do that? Okay, here we go. Here we add all of our layers. We have 3 layers. The base layer, which is just like the white background. The turnaround activity ring layer. And then we have our data layer. So if we simply move this around, does that solve? Oh, does that solve what we want? Let's see here. I really gotta sort out my light situation. I don't really want light in my face, but I don't know what else to do. Does that make it any better? No. What if we just did that? Is that better? Not really. I guess if I shine it into my face, that's not even that good. Oh, we gotta sort that out. Okay, so build successful. Alright, we don't care about any of that right now. Yep, so it's on top of the lines. So just by changing the order of when we add in the layers, it affects, you know, the visibility. Not the visibility, it affects all this. Man, I don't like it over the number. So if I can have it over just the and you know, another thing is that we aren't, when this is in active development, we're going to be adding and removing this layer based on if we are if we're currently calculating our turnaround point. So we might need to change our how we're doing that. So right now, okay, well before, let's see, I'm looking for, that's creating the data layer. It's getting the radius. It's on update, on layout. What I'm trying to find is yeah, actually I never really did this. So this is gonna have to be on the same level as our alert layer. So we add the alert layer if it's a turnaround, right? Then we remove it once it needs to be removed. So there we go. We remove the layer when the alert ends. Okay. Okay. So we don't want to do it that way. I think we'll want the layer to be at a certain position, and then we just hide and show the layer. That's probably a better path forward. Now, I could probably move the box, the lines down into the base layer. That would make sense. And then have the ring layer on top of that. And then it's just covering the lines and not covering the text. I like that. That's a good solution. Let's do, well, it's not a great solution. Because if we hide the base layer, then we're also going to be hiding the white background. Well, let's find out. Alright, we have our create data layer. Let's create a new function called create base layer. Should probably be draw base layer. Let's do draw base layer. Alright. And here we're drawing the lines. Incompetence. It's wonderful. Still have the coughs. Okay. var dc is equal to base layer dot get dc. We want all these things. Oh boy. Computer struggling there for a second. Yeah, so we're running just on a simple Mac Mini M1. That's what I have. And my philosophy for all this is just use what you have. Just get it to work. Okay, so we're gonna comment this out. Because there's really no point in spending a bunch of money in this. Because, well, I mean, you know, it's not really hitting off right yet, right? So no reason to spend a ton of money. I really enjoy doing this, but I'm not going to spend a ton of money until there's a reason to do so. Or until, you know, the Mac Mini can't handle the sort of development that I want to do. Nobody besides myself is asking for this. You know, this is something solely for me. And that's going to continue to be the projects that I work on. Stuff for me. We need to do this. All right. Building. So I have used this app a couple of times out in the wild, and it worked pretty well. It has failed once, like it threw an exception. And that was before I could get any logs, so I don't know why it threw an exception. But since then, it hasn't thrown any exceptions. So maybe the problem was that it had nowhere to write the logs. Could be as simple as that. All right. Okay, that's still on top of the text, but the lines look right. And the only reason it's still on top of the text is because of the order. Right? Man, it just will not let go. Alright. Build successful. Let's run it. Okay. Alright, that's good. Look, it's on top of the lines. Right? That's perfect. But it's not on top of this text here. Which is exactly what I want. That's perfect. I could probably move this a touch. Move this kind of this text up a bit, but I'm happy with where it's at right now. Okay. So, let's start doing some cleanup here. And it makes more sense for the lines to be on the base layer. Now, so one thing we want to do now is we need to update when we show the ring. We don't want to be showing it all the time. So we want to show it after our alert has gone off. Essentially after our alert has gone off. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we want to hide it after we've reached our turnaround point, or after we've reached, yeah, our turnaround point. And no, we want to show it after we push the initialize button, which is this back button here. So, and remember how I did that. On update, draw data layer by percent, pause selected, save selected, update info, turnaround selected. Here we go. So we want to do turn around active ring dot visibility, set visible, true. Okay. And then in our initializer, we actually want this to be, let's look at the documentation. When we initialize it, okay, let's see if we can do this. So null will fill the whole screen, which is what I want. But I also want to set the visibility to false. So the way we pass in options is through this dictionary or hash map, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to call this false. Now, if I don't pass in the other size information, is it going to default to just filling the whole thing? I hope so. But we can also just pass 0, 0, full width, full height, if we have to. Okay, build successful. So what we expect to happen is that we won't see that ring until we push the back button on the activity page. Oh, we put that in the base layer. You dumbass. Okay, well, it looks like that works. This is what we want. Build successful. Actually, let's go back here. Up, start, ready. Okay, good. It's not being shown. And we're going to, perfect. That's what we want. So now it's visible. So I was also thinking we need to add in functionality where the first time you push back, it starts it. The second time, you stop it, right? You want to be able to stop when you're figuring out your turnaround point, right? Oh. Well, that doesn't look right. Okay. Interesting. We set the color to transparent. This should be color black. Okay. That's good. Let's make sure that the alert looks better. There we go. That's what we want. Now, the question is, do we want to hide the ring after the alert? I don't know. What is the ring telling us? The ring is telling us that you have an active timer going, or like an active turnaround calculation going. I think we should definitely hide it once the timer is done. Right? Yeah, we can do that. And once the alert has been shown. Set visible. False. No. What? Yes. Good. Now, I don't really like how we're doing this, so we're going to change this up to be alert layer set visible, right? Same as this other deal, false. And instead of adding the layer here, no, here, this is going to be alert layer dot set visible true, and we will instead add the layer in the initialize with everything else, and we want it to be the most prominent on top of everything. All right, let's test that. Just that way we're doing everything the same way. As you can tell by the information on this watch, I am not a fast runner. Not fast at all. Is this pace correct? That doesn't seem right. Alright, build successful. To be fair, that training data is recorded on a trail run, you know, pretty difficult, muddy trail run. So, you know, it's not ideal conditions for being fast. Okay, good. It's almost exactly what we want, except that we want to set the visibility to false. I do not have the skill of just sitting still. I'm always constantly moving up and down, up and down. All right. All right. So we're calculating the turnaround point. It should go off around 0.06 or somewhere around there. We can delete this because we aren't using any of this stuff. Alright, good. And it disappears, and the ring disappears as well. That's great. So, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted to do. Huh. I'm happy about that. Let's test, let's check some stuff here. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. Is there anything else I want to do? What should be the next steps? So there's a bunch of things I could do, but now we're getting to the point of it's satisfied my requirements, right? Do I want to continue investing more time into this project or moving on to a new one? So there's a bunch of things that could be done. For example, this only supports running right now. You know, do we want to support any other activities? Which wouldn't be that hard. It would just be having a menu before this page that, you know, lets you choose the activity. Though that might be a little annoying because you might have to have specific layouts depending on the activity, which I don't really want to deal with. So I don't want to do that right now. Another thing that could be done is adding support for, well, we should at least add support for canceling a turnaround. Yes, we should definitely do that. And then potentially adding turnaround points. But I think what I need to do now is just start playing around with it, using it, and then I'll fix it if need be. So that means we're looking for a new project. Cool. I have some ideas of stuff. So I'm thinking of doing a okay, before I get a hold of myself, let's do the canceling of a turnaround. So on turnaround selected. Now turnaround selected is called oh no. Oh no. What the hell? Alright, let's go to the activity. We could also do some cleanup, too. Yeah. I don't really feel like doing that, though. So maybe we don't. So here, this is when we know that the button's been pushed, right? So if turnaround, what stupid name did I give it? Is turnaround in progress. So if this is false, then we want to set all this active. If this is true, then we want to do that. And we want to set this to false. And of course, what we want to do is turn around. You know what? We can just move this out here. Rid of that. So we're just updating the value of this based on I can never remember. Is it, do they have a not symbol in here? I think they do. We're gonna just do that. So we're just flipping it. We're just toggling this Boolean value. So if it's false, it'll be turned to true. If it's true, it'll be turned to false. Now we want to add the ability to cancel or clear turnaround. So in our session delegate, we're going to want to set create a new function right here. So we'll do function, right? And now what do we turnaround point? Okay, so we're gonna set, I think we have a default value on turnaround point. Default's -1, so we need to set it to -1. Turn around point is equal to -1. So that's our default value. If it's a -1, we're telling it to not calculate anything. Okay. Let's build it. Errors. Oh. Let's see. It's a float. Oh man, this thing is struggling. Why are you doing so poorly on that? Alright. Great, so ready for that. And the reason it's -1 is because -1 will never be a value that would be calculated during an activity, right? So build successful. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a turnaround point. We're going to cancel it and make sure that it doesn't show an alert. Okay. Oh, -0. Okay. So if it didn't cancel out properly, then it would show an alert soon. Okay, good. That worked. So if I set it again, we expect it to ring very soon here. There we go. Cool. That works. We have our cancel functionality. Done. Nice. All right. It is time for a little break. I will be back. And we're back. Okay. So, where were we? We put in the cancel functionality. Now, another thing we can do is like a long press to change your turnaround point. But at that point, you know, what's the point? I don't know if that's something I'd actually use. So I think we're at the point where we just test this out, use it, right? And then see what the limitations are. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm pretty happy with this overall, right? Whoa, average pace just went down to 0. Why'd it do that? Weird. Oh, that could be something with the fit file. Maybe I had a, like I paused the activity or something. It's fine. So, what I wanted to find. So I have this idea, but I need to find it. Let's see. There was like this cool little UI that was on X for a couple of days. It was like a purple and yellow, and it was kind of like two competing colors. Purple, yellow, I don't know. Can't even spell yellow. Bouncing colors. Simple weekend project. I feel like it was some sort of designer or something I saw. It was like a month ago, I would say. Bouncing colors, bouncing balls. Let's see. So it was this animation of kind of like Pong. Imagine Pong, where you're having a ball bounce back and forth, but instead you have a ball on each side and there's specific color, and they bounce off of the wall to a middle point. When they hit the middle point, they push their color out. So like you have two competing sides, and right, since the balls go at the same speed, you know, it's one of them should never really beat the other. So the simple game I was thinking was we have that, but then like somehow make a game out of it, right? Because I thought it was a really cool look and simple, relatively simple. I just wish I could remember it. Like Pong style game. Let's see. God, I really wish. Oh, there's so much crap on X. I just want to find the thing I care about right now. I should have saved it or bookmarked it or whatever. Maybe I did. How do I find my bookmarks? I did not. Okay. Somewhere. Saw it at some point. Damn, I can just scroll forever and try to find this. Don't think it was in January. Damn. Alright, let's see. See if we can Google it. Maybe I shouldn't use the word Pong. Is it? You get too much Pong related stuff. Maybe Grok will know. Let's see. We'll see if this works. Oh my god, Grok, you're fucking useless, dude. I just might not find this. Okay. I feel like it might have been an Android developer who did it. Let's see. problem is I don't remember when I saw it. I saw it a while ago. It was before I went on my run, my race. Because I was thinking about it while I was training for it. So it's probably sometime in January. Yeah, not finding it. Okay. Not finding it. So let's use freeform here, and let's just kind of simulate what I'm talking about. So imagine we have two. I want to change the color. So let's make that one yellow. And let's make this one a nice purple color. Oh, gosh. That is right. That's the one I want. Okay. So we have these two colors. And then we have smallish. Okay, well, sure. So we have a ball on each side. Okay. This one is I guess it would be yellow. Right? And then this one is well, they could be white or gray. Let's just make them gray, right? And so they're bouncing around the inside here. Boo, boo. And then when they hit here, it pushes out a little bit more of its color. So it hit right there. And now there's more purple over here, right? And then it can then bounce into there. And so it's just like a bouncing animation. You know, those classic bouncing animations, but when it hits here, it pushes the color out. It's like some sort of competing. And same for yellow. When it hits that, it's pushing yellow out. So you get this kind of cool UI of the whole thing transitioning. And the different sides competing. Maybe that's how I can describe it. Not Twitch. So, competing colors. Animation. Well, that's cool, but that's not what we're looking for. Alright. Can't find it. But you get the idea. This is kind of what I'm thinking. So, the game would be... It would probably be like a sort of Twitch game sort of thing where you're pushing... Like maybe the more people you have following, the faster one ball can move. And... You know, the more... And the goal is to have one side win. Right? Then maybe you can make the ball bigger and it's hitting around like that, you know, capturing more space. Yeah. I don't know. So I think we're pretty much done with this. Well, we're done with it for now. So we just need to start using it and seeing what the issues are. And then we can update it as we need to, right? So, took us 29 days. We're at a good stopping point for active development. Now it's time to use the thing. You know, still like UI changes we can make. Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of makes sense. So the other project I was thinking about doing is connecting. So you have the ability to connect a Garmin watch to a phone. So I was thinking it'd be really cool to, like, if you wanted to stream exercise or something, to be able to stream the live feed that you're getting from your watch. So you could get things like heart rate, you get things like, you know, your distance, your speed, your pace, and all that, and you could add it to your, you know, your video stream. So imagine you have someone who's streaming their run, you could then, you know, add an overlay with that data there. Just like a way to make, you know, make it all interactive. You know, I don't know how useful that would really be. Or how easy that would be. I mean, getting the data off of the device would be easy. But the things I've learned from doing this project is that you would have to have, you wouldn't be able to use the utilize the native activities. You'd have to create your own activity like we did for this app, and you would have to, you know, essentially implement every activity you want to support: running, swimming, you know, biking, all those sort of things. You'd have to implement every single one, provide the UI for every single one, and then have your start stop functioning. Now, I've done most of that in this project, right? So I know how to do that. The only stuff I don't know how to do yet is the, you know, connecting it to a device. So they have, let's see, mobile SDK for Android. Since I'm predominantly an Android developer, this is probably where I'd start. Look at that. So they have essentially a framework or a library that you can use. Hmm. That's interesting. So you had to go through their Connect IQ app. But, I don't really feel up for this right now. I didn't think I'd be done today. So yeah, you could do all those things and stream that information to the device. But then, so the problems that I would have is things that I'd have to learn. So temporary problems is that I have to learn how to set up. Essentially, I'd have to make my own streaming app. I feel like I'd have to make my own, Streamlabs sort of app where it could take any sort of overlay that you want to give it. Now, in this example, the overlay is this Garmin data, but that seems too restrictive, Is there an OBS for mobile phones? Like OBS on a computer allows for a bunch of functionality, allows you to create your own UI. Is there something like that for mobile streaming? Well, let's see. Mobile streaming OBS. What I'm thinking is like an open source streaming platform for mobile. And then, I had to learn all the streaming stuff, which might be pretty interesting. See, this is Streamlabs. Streamlabs is not open source. All right, let's see. Mobile streaming open source. Ant Media scalable real-time streaming engine. WebRTC streaming. That's definitely not open source. Here we go, an open source live mobile broadcast. Clone a Periscope. Huh. It's using JavaScript, so probably some sort of React native sort of deal. Last updated 2016. Final release. Interesting. You can develop a live streaming app in 3 general steps. Get a media server. Interesting. When was this last updated? 4 years ago. Okay. There we go. All right. So, live streaming, video streaming SDK. Kickflip. Oh, that doesn't work. Interesting. OBS for mobile. Developing OBS Studio is currently outside the scope of what the project is able to work on. Also, the majority of mobile hardware in use today is not capable of running the full OBS Studio feature set without significant compromises. So here they list some Prism Live Studio. All features for live streaming. So what I want to see is I want to see the ability, like on OBS, to be able to include overlays that are web driven. Because if you did that, you web driven and maybe somehow registered on the device things, because I wouldn't want to send like heart rate data up to a web server and then back down to the device. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it could be some sort of local web browser. Yeah, you could probably have a local local host sort of thing that would get the data. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Like, this is be an entirely new area for me. I know how to do Android development, right? But it'd be the streaming aspect that I don't have all the details on. But it could be a very interesting project. A long project, but interesting. You know? Let's see. This Prism looks pretty cool, actually. I mean, it still doesn't give you the flexibility that I want, though. And let's think about it. You know, if you're on a device, how would you do overlay setup? Because you have much more limited space. But the nice thing about OBS is, like, you can put anything into there as long as you can put a browser overlay. You can, you know, include that information. Prism widgets. Free Prism widgets. Titles. I mean, it's pretty much limited to a few things. And the other aspect of this is that, you know, imagine you want to connect to a something like a what's it called? GoPro, right? And stream from your GoPro. Because, you know, if you're streaming from your phone, first off, that's not great, because it's kind of bulky and you don't have really nice ways to carry it. So you'd want to have something like a GoPro that you could attach to anywhere on your body, and it has image stability or image stabilization. You'd stream it to your phone, add the overlays that you'd want to have, and then stream all of that to Twitch or YouTube or wherever the hell you're streaming it. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But geez, that's a big project. I certainly learn a lot. I just kind of want to see what they're adding here. And it's just not... It's not like the OBS kind of open source feel. Let's see what IRL Pro and Moblin are. Oh yeah, this one's certainly a little less bombastic here. OBS WebSocket control. It was updated a couple months ago. Interesting. Huh. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to play around with this one. But it's only on Android device. Okay. And then we have Moblin. Free iOS app for IRL streaming. This has an MIT license. Stream to OBS Studio. What does that mean? That's interesting. I wonder if that solves the problem. If you could stream to a computer, right? If you could stream to a computer, like and then it is the thing that's adding over all the overlays, that would be pretty useful. Interesting. See, the widgets are very simplistic. Browser widget. Huh. I wonder if that's... OBS WebSocket. I don't know what that does. It's interesting they have an Apple Watch companion app. So, updated recently. Nice. Colin Swift. Let's see. Five reviews. Can we see how much it's been downloaded? Let's see the version history. It's their first version, December 7th? So it's that new? Nice. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And the license is an MIT license. I mean, it's all Swift, so I can't do much with it, but it can help teach how this is done. There's a lot of functionality for something that's only been around for so long. I mean, 2,000 commits. Oh, I don't know when this project started. 65 stars. That's pretty good for such a new project. 500 plus deployments. Huh. is this OBS WebSocket? All right. Well, I think we're in the research phase, so I'm going to cut the stream here and kind of do some of this research on my own.